are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello. So, hi. First of all, the candle of the day today is Cherry Frost from Bath & Body Works. The candle is purple. I'm feeling very purple. I thought it was appropriate. Second of all, is my tripod crooked? Is it? Today's video is a collaboration. I have a lot of collaborations planned for Glowmas, and I have a lot of people who I love and respect and am very excited to work with. And today's collaboration is with Michelle Wang here on YouTube. Michelle is like the queen of luxury makeup. I go to her if I ever need to be like, is this worth it? I go to Michelle because I feel like she always just has the tea. She also is a very relaxing, chilled out, really, the best word I can think of to describe her is dope presence. I just find her to be so relaxing, so chill. I love watching her videos and I just love her in general. She's so incredibly supportive and so kind and just like a good person. And so I'm gonna include a brief clip from one of her videos so you guys can kind of get a vibe of how Michelle is. And yeah, please go subscribe because she is amazing.
I have used this palette quite a bit and I really enjoy the formula, the performance of it. It is very similar to all of the other Pat McGrath Mothership palettes that I've experienced. The mattes are pigmented, they blend really nicely, they're not too powdery, they're also not too creamy, which sometimes I find a little bit difficult to move and to blend. And then the three like true satin shades, this one, and this one, very creamy. They go on beautifully on the lid.
So that is Michelle. I love her. Please go subscribe. And because she is like the luxury queen, I felt like we had to do a video crapping on luxury makeup. And the reason we had to do that is because while there is definitely luxury makeup, there's some that I adore, there's some that I really love, and makeup that's very expensive that I'm like, you know what, for me, this is worth it. There is a lot more makeup that I'm like, well, that wasn't worth anything. It wasn't worth the money that I spent on it. And I think it's interesting to kind of, after a year, introspect and be like, what was good? What was not worth it? What were the worst products I tried? And some of this makeup is not necessarily like the worst makeup. Like, it's not terrible, but for the price, it's terrible, if that makes sense. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about this first, because this one I have mixed feelings on. So this is the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, which was a big thing. I believe either late last year or early this year it came out, and this was huge. It opens up and it's kind of like a balm that you like kind of scrape out. You can see I've used it a lot. I love this primer, but here's the problem. This exists. So this e.l.f. putty primer is like, I think $6 or $8, something ridiculously inexpensive. And I don't know if you're catching on to any sort of pattern, but they're literally the same exact product. I don't know how e.l.f. was able to replicate this formula so well, but this is fantastic. Like this little primer, I use it so much and it's so good. I reach for this over this, which is nutty, but I feel like this formula is just so fantastic and so good. Whereas this formula, it's good, but like I paid, I think it was like $50 for this. Like I'm pretty sure I paid 50 bucks. So to go from paying $50 to $8 for essentially the same product makes this product not good to me anymore. Like I'll never rebuy this now that I know that the e.l.f. putty primer exists. Having had both and using both, I know for a fact that this is comparable and if not a better product. So I've hated this ever since. When I first bought it, I was like, I love this. I think it's amazing. It's like one of the best primers I've ever used. And then that's still true. It's a great primer, but like you can get the same thing for $8. So now this sucks to me. Now I'm like, why did I spend $50 on you when I could have spent $8?
Why, Tatcha?
Let's talk about this one. This is the Dior Forever Foundation, the Dior Skin. I got this. This is like an older product. Like this isn't really a new product. I got this a couple years ago for Christmas. This product on its own is so bad. So bad. I love mixing this with something like maybe my Hourglass foundation stick or even most of my foundation sticks. This mixes very well with those because those are typically a very creamy texture texture. For whatever reason, this foundation just dries me out like no tomorrow. Like it dries me out like crazy. It doesn't initially, like when I first put it on, it looks okay. And it's okay for filming because on film it looks decent. But when you're in person, it literally just gets sucked into your skin, it feels like. And all of your skin texture and all of the things that you were trying to hide by putting this stuff on shows through. I don't know what it is about this foundation. And it was like 50 bucks too, which is pretty expensive for a foundation. Like Dior stuff is not cheap. This was so ridiculously expensive and I never ever really use it because unless I mix it with something else, it doesn't work. For me, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm gonna spend like $50 on a foundation, this needs to be like the best foundation of all time. And it's not very good. And I feel like it's weird because it's somehow both very dewy and very drying. Like when you put it on initially, it looks kind of dewy and it gives off like a dewy finish. And then once you let it sit on you and set, it's so dry. I don't understand it. And I'm confused because I feel like a lot of people have recommended this foundation. I feel like especially around the time when I bought it back in like 2018, 2017, so many people were recommending it. And the other day I was like decluttering some makeup and I went through and I found this one and I was like, I still have this. And I was like, why don't I ever use it? And then I put it on and I was like, oh, that's why. It's not good. It's not good by itself. This is not a good foundation. Very disappointed because like I love Dior. I love the aesthetic of Dior. The Dior Backstage foundation, I just put that in a video about makeup, reviewing makeup I got for Christmas last year. That foundation's fantastic. I'm literally wearing it today. It gives you a beautiful, like semi-dewy, semi-coverage, beautiful glowy finish.
Trash.
I don't know if NARS is necessarily considered luxury, but I think they are because they're so expensive. I know they might not fall into that luxury like name brand kind of thing, but I think, no, I think NARS is luxury. It's expensive. This highlighter was expensive. This is the NARS highlighter in Fort de France. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the incredibly disgusting hard pan that got hit on this product instantly. I used it one time and it had this incredibly horrible hard pan. I didn't do anything that would make it get hard panned. There was no like moisture or any of those other weird things that can cause this. This is just how the product is. And the formula itself is very like stiff would be the best way that I could describe it. It's got a decent glow to it, which I appreciate. My hand's also wet right now from lotion, so I feel like that's enhancifying it because it normally doesn't look that good. On the face, it just doesn't really do anything because it's got this very weird stiff formula. You know how normally when you like swatch a highlighter, it has a little bit of give to it and it's a little bit maybe bouncy. I don't know if bouncy is the right word, but it has a little bit of give to it and it kind of lets the pigment just glide off of the pan and onto your face. This does not have that. It's a very stiff formula where when you put your brush into it and you try to apply it, it's got like this weird, it's almost like it's fighting you. That's the best way I can describe it. Like this highlighter, it feels like it's fighting me and I don't know why. Like I want it to just work for me. It's interesting because I have 4 NARS highlighters, Board de Plug palette, 4 highlighters in there and I love them. I think they're so beautiful. They're so stunning on the face and that's why I bought this one because I was like, oh, I want that in a single palette too because I like the formula. This is not that formula. If you have NARS highlighters in those palettes, I don't think they're the same formula as what this one is because this was just trash. And I was disappointed because it was so expensive and it had been on my wish list for a really long time and in stores it swatched okay. But the second I brought it home, got that weird hard pan and then it just was like fighting me. I don't need a highlighter to fight me. I have enough good highlighters that don't fight me. I don't need this one to fight me. This is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Expert Mascara. This was sent to me in PR, which thank you to Kevyn Aucoin. I appreciate that. They actually used to send me a bunch of stuff and then I wouldn't stop talking badly about it, so they don't anymore. But this was the Kevyn Aucoin, the Expert Mascara, and it looks like this. It's just a mascara. This is more of a lesson, okay? I can't open it because I just put on lotion. This is just kind of a lesson, okay? Here's my personal opinion. When stuff like the Essence Lash Princess Mascara exists, why are you spending over $20 on a mascara? Why? I could understand, I guess, if you had really, really, really like problematic eyelashes that you really had to work with and there was only a certain formula that worked with, but for the most part, those lash princesses got you covered. Like I personally like the green one, but I know my mom likes the pink one. So like it really, there's one for everyone. And those are like $4.99. This is such an expensive mascara, just like stupidly expensive. And it wasn't worth it. It did the same exact thing that all other mascaras do. One of the, oh my God, there's a bug in here. Oh my God, it's huge. I don't know what it is. Ah! Stop! bug. He's literally flying around. Oh my God, I lost him. Where did he go? Oh my God, I'm so scared I lost him. Was that a hallucination? Where did he go? The only difference with maybe a higher end mascara is the wand. The actual formula, I've noticed for the most part, some are a little bit different, that most of the formulas are pretty similar. So the wand is really what makes a difference. The only thing I noticed is that some are kind of crumbly. This one in particular wasn't particularly crumbly on my eyes. Like, it didn't dry down and get crumbly, but I did notice that it transferred pretty easily. Like, if I even slightly touched the edge of my eye with my eyelashes, it would get everywhere. And it was a little bit messier of an application, which for being so expensive is kind of just annoying. I just feel like expensive mascaras are not worth it unless you can get them on like sale. Like, for example, I just got the Monsieur big mascara. I haven't tried it yet, but I got it during Black Friday for like $12. And I was like, well, that's a really good deal. You know what I mean? Like, getting stuff like that. But don't pay full price for these. The markup is so absurd. The formula is going to be very similar to lower end mascaras. And this is the most expensive one I've ever owned. And it was just me. Let's talk about bronzers, because I'm always let down by luxury bronzers. If you have been subscribed to me for like a hot minute, you're gonna already know my gripe with this product. But I feel like I have to keep telling people about this because it's just absurd. This is the Kevin Aquan sculpting powder. No, this is not the mini size. This is not the travel size. This is the full size that costs 50 doll hairs. Are you kidding me? This has 0.14 ounces of product in it. This is the size of an eyeshadow. Literally, I'm pretty sure there are eyeshadows that have more product than this contour palette does. I could barely even fit my brush in this freaking product. I'm more just, the product itself was good. Like, I liked it. I didn't hate it. But I am just so morally offended that they would send you, for that much money, that they would send you a product of this size when they could full well make it a normal size. They could make it 1,000 times bigger and it would make way more sense. You're gonna go through this, if you're contouring with this every day, you're gonna go through this in like literally 3 weeks. Like, there's no product in here. And it's just absurd to me that they're gonna charge that much money for this. Look, it's a magic trick. It's gone now. It would have been so much easier for them to just make a product that was like a normal size contour, or like even if it was a rectangle, like make it like the rectangles that are the size of their like highlighters that they have, those Neo highlighters, which I really like. I have one in Sahara and I thoroughly enjoy it. They could have made that this size and this would have been a fantastic product. I would have been like, the product inside is very good. Do not buy this. Do not waste your money buying something this tiny for that much money. No, not worth it. Never. Thank you. I decluttered it because I was so angry about it. Like, I literally decluttered it. I was so mad about how small that was. The next thing, I'm gonna be brief because I literally just harassed this product in a video, but the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow Hollywood film star thing is just not worth the freaking money. Like, it's just, this is $70. Like, I know I say this every video, but this is $70. Look at this. If you take away this beautiful packaging in the front, what about this is $70? What? The contour shade is meh. It's not bad. It's not amazing. I'm gonna keep it because I want to hit pan on it because it was $70. This I'll never hit pan on because this is one of the worst highlights ever. So already half of the palette I can't use. So this right here was $70. Absurd. So bad. So not worth the money. 10 out of 10. Would not recommend. This is actually like a bad product. Like, I don't like this. Again, the bronzer shade is like fine. It's just not in any capacity. This is worth maybe $10 at best for the quality you're getting. No. This one I honestly didn't even want to put in this video because I feel guilty that I even bought it because this is such a stupid purchase. But it was when I had just, did I hit 75,000 subscribers? I had hit a milestone and I was like, and there was a sale happening and I was like, I want to treat myself. I'm gonna treat myself and I've wanted this bronzer for years. There's a video of me literally like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, talking about how this bronzer is on my wish list, and it has been on my wish list for easily 2 or 3 years. So I finally bought it, and let me tell you right now, it was not worth it. This is the Tom Ford, oh, I hate that I'm even saying this. I literally am so ashamed of myself. This is the Tom Ford Glow Bronzer in 01 Gold Dust. This is a very hyped bronzer. This bronzer is also $112. Why? Why did I buy this? I can't believe I got so caught up in that hype. I just gotten paid and I was like, oh my god, I hit
I'm like, I deserve to treat myself.
This is what she looks like. Pretty fine. You can see I've used it because I'm gonna use every last freaking speck of this. It's just, here's the thing. Again, this isn't a bad bronzer. It is a little bit more orangey and red toned than I think I would have thought based on the pictures. For some reason, I thought even though it had a little bit of a gold shimmer to it, that it was a very like neutral bronzer. This is not neutral. It's definitely got a little hint of orange. Not crazy bad. I think it still looks pretty good on my skin tone, but it's not like as neutral as it looks in the picture. So that was my first gripe. The second gripe was no bronzer will ever be worth $112. And that's just the tea. Like it would have had to been like, no bronzer is worth that much, because there's bronzers that are so much cheap. Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer is like $12 and it's amazing. So like no bronzer is worth this much money. I am happy that I have it in the sense that now I know and now I won't make this mistake again. Like I'll never rebuy this. And like I will say, to give credit where credit is due, because my biggest gripe with luxury stuff is always that the packaging is crap. The packaging on this is luxury. It's very weighted. It's beautiful. It's easy to wipe off so it gets a little dirty. It looks very clean. It's very like clean cut, nice. The inner packaging has the like beautiful mirror and the gold, and it has like the Tom Ford, and you know what I mean? Like at least it's like, it is an experience, and it came in like a little pouch. So at least it like was that luxury experience that sometimes I go after when I buy luxury makeup. But like, oh my God, do not spend $112 on a bronzer. Like I'm begging you, never buy this. It's not worth it. I'm gonna use it now that I have it, but it's not worth the money. And for what it is, it's just not that good. I know Jaclyn Hill like raves about it and is like, I know it's expensive.
This is past expensive. This is absurd.
Don't buy this. All right, these two products. So this is another issue of just not necessarily being worth the money. So, and these are both palettes that I really recently decluttered. This is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership Subversive Metamorphosis palette. I bought this for myself right before my no-buy last year. My no-buy started like, I think it started a couple days before Christmas, but this was a palette that I bought for myself right before that happened because Pat McGrath was having a sale. I don't dislike this palette. The thing is, it was the Pat McGrath price, and I think what I thought this was going to be was her very transformative and beautiful shimmer shades that she has in her palettes, which is now what those quads that she's selling, which I want, are those really transformative and beautiful shimmer shades. Like that's what those quads are. And the thing is, this isn't that. These are kind of just standard metallic shades, which for the price point of Pat McGrath, I believe this was like $54 for the price point that she sells her products at. That's a horrible deal. Like what's 54 divided by 6? So at the end of the day, you paid like about $9 a shadow for basically what I could equate to ColourPop quality of metallics and shimmers. And the other thing about this too is, especially, and this might have just been a me problem because I have a pretty large collection, but there's no mattes in this palette. So it kind of got lost in my collection, because if I was going to reach for a shimmer, I would reach for like a singular shimmer, like a single shimmer shade. I wouldn't necessarily be reaching for this whole palette of subpar metallic shimmers. I got that red palette from that collection and I love that one. That's like a go-to neutral palette for me, especially now that I'm working, because it's got the mattes and it's got some, I mean, the shimmers are similar quality, so they're not phenomenal, but they're good, like they're decent. But because it's a cohesive palette, it's something that I use a lot. But because these are kind of these random weird shimmers that I don't know how much people would use them, I was really disappointed in this in general. I'm happy she came out with those, really, the quads, because I think what people want are those transformative shimmer shades that are like insane duochromes and crazy glitters, and now they can get that for half the price that the big palettes cost. Let's talk about this. This is the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. I received this for Christmas 2 years ago. I did a video comparing this to the ColourPop Sunrise. I think it was the Yes Please palette. Yeah, the ColourPop Yes Please palette, which is an exact dupe for this, not only in color, but in formula. And when I saw that the ColourPop shadows, like I was watching that video back, the ColourPop shadows performed better than the Natasha Denona ones, I kind of was like, is a scam. And it's interesting because I actually I have the gold palette and I also have the Sunrise palette, which is kind of the sister palette to this one. And I love those palettes. I think they're fantastic and I think they're really cool, very unique, very good. Like the formula is amazing. Something about this formula with the mattes is just not anything spectacular or amazing. And I think I lusted after this palette so much because at the time it was so beautiful. And I saw it in videos, like I saw influencers using it and I was like, like, this is just so beautiful. Like, it's a sunset. Like, it's beautiful. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the mattes are very subpar. The glitters are very beautiful. And I've actually gone back and forth on if I'm going to keep this or not because of those glitters, because they're just so stunning. Like, I think the glitters look great, but there's only 3 glitters in here that are like extraordinary. The other 2 are like just so. These ones are beautiful. So it's the question of like, do you keep a whole palette for 3 glitters? And then it's like, do I depop them? Because I don't want to, if I'm going to give this palette to somebody, I don't want to give them just like the subpar mattes from the palette. I don't know. I struggle with this one, but I don't think this one was worth the money, and I'm very disappointed in it. It's probably my least favorite Natasha Denona palette I've owned, and the more and more I play with it, the more it like deters me from buying other palettes from her, because I'm like, why was this one so not good? And why was it so hyped up? Like, I don't really understand. Finally, I saved this one for last because I think it was legitimately the worst luxury product I tried this year. This is from Marc Jacobs, and it is their Showstopper Omega Glaze Highlighter. It's from one of their most recent collections. It's like a rock and glam, I don't know. This is awful. It truly the worst highlighter, high-end highlighter I've ever tried in my life. Truly the worst Marc Jacobs product I've ever tried in my life. I have the other 2 Omega Glazes, the white one and the really gold one from last Christmas, that I adore. And that's why I bought this one, because I was like, oh my God, it's in a pink formula. Like, I want it. This is it right here. It's so not like the other formulas. The other formulas are this beautiful, like gilded, metallic, foiled, wet looking glow. This one is just powder and chunky glitter and weird colors. Like, I don't understand why they would change up the formula. I have to wonder if it was like for money purposes. Like, I have to wonder if they knew that they would be able to sell these based on the previous formulas, so they cut this formula short or did something. This one is just so bad. Like, truly worst luxury product I tried this year. These things are $50, so that's pretty bad. I actually am probably going to give this to my sister who lives in California, just because I think she might like it a little bit better than I did. Like, she'll at least probably get some use out of it because she didn't pay for it, but like, I paid for it and I'm like, this is bad. This is trash. This was easily the worst luxury product that I tried this year. So bad. I cannot say enough bad things about it. Like, really and truly bad. All right, friends. Well, that is going to be it for me today. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or dislike, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with a link to register to vote. That's right. You can go register to vote. You can click on that link, and you can make a difference in your world. And if you're not from the United States and that link does not apply to you, please make sure you're staying informed in what's going on in your community, what's going on in your life, what's happening in the world. I think the world really needs more of it. So use your voice in a positive way. Please go check out Michelle. Her channel is fantastic and I adore her. And let me know in the comments below some pretty bad luxury products that you guys might have tried this year. What are your worst ones? I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!